380 ACP versus 32 H&R Magnum. I've been requested to do this test so many different times lately. And the people that requested are very correct in the fact that through these short barreled handguns, LCP versus LCR, what we were seeing in the past with a lot of different tests was similar energy, similar velocity, similar bullet weights between 380 ACP versus 32 H&R Magnum, with the only real difference being the bullet diameter, with the 380 ACP at 0.355 and the 32 H&R Magnum at 0.312. So a significant difference in diameter, but similar bullet weights. This ammunition I'm using today are both XTP bullets, 85 grain 32 H&R Magnum. We have the 90 grain 380 ACP, and I'm happening to use Federal versus Hornady XTP, Hornady American Gunner, because it uses the exact same bullet. So we are going to have a pretty fair test here, and this is going to demonstrate something called sectional density. And what we're going to see here is probably a difference, because sectional density, you know, the 32 H&R Magnum has a higher sectional density because it is a skinnier diameter with basically more mass behind that diameter. That's basically what it means. And you might see greater penetration even though you have similar velocity, similar bullet weight. So we're going to go through the chronograph, see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. And then, as always, we're going to go through the Juggernaut box, which contains a 1 3/4 inch pack of bologna, simulates sort of like a pectoral muscle, covered by 4 layers of denim to try to clog up that hollow point, followed by 1/4 inch medium density fiberboard that kind of simulates ribs or sternum, and into water jugs to catch that projectile. How this compares to ballistics gel, plain ballistics gel with denim is, you know, the back of the second jug is about 12 inches comparison to ballistics gel, back of the third jug about 15 inches, back of the fourth about 18 inches, and so on. So let's get started with the test and just really see how the 32 H&R Magnum compares to the 380 ACP when we use these short barrel handguns. So let's get started with the test. All right, we're about 4 yards from the chronograph, about 5 yards from the target. We'll see how the 380 ACP American Gunner does. 930, 904, 931, 907, 894. So about what you'd expect with something like that. Now let's try the 32 H&R Magnum, see how that compares. 32 H&R Mag, we're dealing with about the same weight bullet, 5 grains lighter. So if we can keep at about that 900 feet per second, we're going to be pretty comparable here. Let's see what we get. 868, 884, 897, 881, 896. So a little bit less velocity on average, a little bit less energy. However, the recoil was a lot less than this, because this particular LCR, you know, weighs about 17 ounces. The LCP about 9 or 10. So the difference there, a huge difference in felt recoil. Now let's hit the ballistic box and see how these compare to each other. All right, XTP 380 ACP. I've had a lot of requests for this particular round, so I'm kind of excited to see what we'll get through the ballistic box. So here we go. All right, that was pretty interesting. Right through the bologna pack, as to be expected. All right, through the bologna pack, we got about what we normally get with 380 ACP hollow points. That's pretty typical for what we normally see with most hollow points. So let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, first jug, I blew the cap right off it. That's pretty impressive for a 380 to do that, as well as splitting the whole side of the jug. Lots of fiberboard in that jug. That's pretty impressive for a 380. Jug 2, we went through jug 2. Splitting of the jug at the top as well on that. Impact on 3. I see a mark in 4. And it looks like we went through 3. I can see the bullet right now. We made an impact in 4 here. And the bullet bounced off jug 4. So what we're looking at there is about maybe 16 inches comparison to ballistics gel, if it was ballistics gel. So what we have here is not much expansion at all. However, it did expand enough to prevent over penetration. So overall, that's not too bad. It's not too impressive, but it's not too bad either. Now let's see how the 32 H&R Magnum compares. All right, 32 H&R Magnum. We'll see what we get. We'll see how this compares to the 380 ACP. All right. All right, here's the baloney pack. Actually hit with a lot of force. It ripped some of that tape up there holding everything on. And what we see is almost identical to the 380 ACP. Not a lot of damage here. So let's see what we got in water jugs. All right, first jug, we have kind of similar results here to the 380. The hole is actually a little bit bigger here on the impact of the first jug. That's interesting. But we cracked the jug. We have a lot of fiberboard in there as well. Jug 2, we went clean through jug 2. Impact on 3. There's a mark out the back of 3, and the bullet is in 3. A little bit of impact on 4. Almost identical penetration. And what we see at the 32 H&R Magnum is exactly the same thing. There's just slight deformation, enough to slow it down, and it penetrated to the same amount. We had an impact on jug 4, so that's about 16 inches comparison to ballistics gel. Not really any expansion at all, but not over penetration. So my takeaway from this is I was thinking maybe sectional density would play a part in here. We'd see more penetration with the 32 H&R Magnum. However, I think what happened is we saw a little bit less velocity and energy overall, and that made it even out to the 380 ACP. So sectional density matters a little bit, but not a lot. I think we would have had the exact same velocity as that 380 ACP, the exact same energy level. We would have penetrated a little bit more with this. As we stand now with the 32 H&R Magnum with the personal defense federal ammunition using the XTP bullet, almost exactly the same results with a little bit less energy than the 380 ACP American Gunner. So that's what you get today. Kind of interesting results. I would carry both of these, to be honest with you, because the penetration was adequate and it didn't over penetrate. Both did quite well, and for the most part the 32 H&R Magnum had a little bit less recoil. So that's what you get today between 32 H&R Mag versus 380 ACP. And as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.